4 long years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I only owned a Squiddy. It was the best budget balisong at the time, and community staples such as the Crackerakin didn't even exist. And neither did balisong companies such as Nabalis, Glider Co., Machine-Wise, Zippy, and Tay Flipper. But with over 3 years of making YouTube videos and over 100,000 subscribers later, all right, that's still manageable.
Yeah, sure, that's still fine. We are not good. We are no longer good, but I'm sure you're gonna.
Yeah, sure, but that has to be it. We're all done?
Yeah, okay, yeah, but that's it,
Right?
In Will and I's My Balisong Collection 2022 video, I had this to say. But thankfully, I only have 6 balisongs. Fast forward not even a year later, and I have over 30. And these range from completely handmade butterfly knives like this that I made entirely out of actual butter knives, up to my $850+ Machine-Wise Serif. Now I promise this wasn't because I suddenly had just unlimited amounts of money to spend on balisongs, though if I sold all my Brandon clones, I probably would.
You need some cash, Daddy?
I sure do, failed Brandon clone number 42. It's mostly because in 2022, I took on a much larger role than ever before on this channel. And I mean that literally. In 2019 and 2020, I mostly just shot the videos with a few small appearances here and there. In 2021, I made these videos. In 2022, I made these videos. And now Brandon's Balisong Corner has more so evolved into Brandon's fucking supply warehouse, I don't know. Because of the size of my collection, which is very abnormal given my flipping skill level, I didn't feel that having a small section of Will's My Balisong Collection video would do the number of balisongs I own justice. So welcome to my own Balisong Award Show, which is what this video was going to be called before Camaro EE did the actual Bally Awards 2022. He genuinely crushed it with that show, and you should definitely go watch it after this video, especially because Will and I and several other really cool creators are all in it. So I do have to say, a lot of my balisongs have a very special place in my heart or have disappointed me due to purely subjective reasons. If you have your own favorites, please, actually, leave a comment, because I'm genuinely curious what people's favorite balisongs are. But this is my list of just the balisongs that I personally own. And I'm shocked that I have to say this, but no, I do not own and have not tried every single balisong that has ever existed. Mostly because I don't generate the equivalent of the GDP of a small third world nation to be able to buy every balisong. But if these Brandon clones keep popping up out of nowhere to my left in exactly 2 seconds, that might just be the case. Yahoo, bitch! So at this point, I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, Brandon, come on, why don't you just get on with it and rapidly talk about your entire collection, separating them into multiple categories, choosing your top 3 from those categories, and then picking your favorite one from each category? Okay. Yeah, sure. So first up is my favorite budget trainer, which for me is any metal balisong under $100. In this category, I own the Nabalis Vulp, Nabalis Morse, Balishark Mermaid, Glider Bermuda, and finally the Artisan Cutlery what? What? This disaster I have plans to make a YouTube short about, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I don't know if I like it. It kind of scares me. Aluminum trainers really took off in 2022, and Will and I did another deep dive into the clusterfuck that is Amazon balisongs right here. As for the Mermaid, Balishark is making much more interesting stuff these days, but this is just in my collection since they sent it for free, and I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10 flipping score.
So my top 3 in this category are the Vulp, the Morse, and the Glider Bermuda.
The Bermuda is an interesting experiment for glider, being around 50 bucks and running on bearings and being sandwich. It makes it really cool, but the balance is just tough for me to flip, even with the Zippy weight insert. And unfortunately, you can't even buy it anymore because it was just a one-off product. We have a full review of the Morse, and the quality of it is what convinced Will and I to pursue making the Vulp. It is really well made, and they even made some improvements to it since we made our review of it. But was there any question about this? I have to give it to the Vulp. Sure, yeah, you can call me biased and a shill all you want.
You're biased and a shill.
Boy, sick 'em. I genuinely enjoy flipping the Vulp a ton, especially with all the Zippy accessories I have on it now. And I would still feel that way even if I didn't directly financially benefit from the sale of it. And if you own one and are enjoying it, that's absolutely awesome, and thank you so much for supporting us, for real. Next, we have my favorite balisong trainer in general, which is any metal balisong over $100. For this, I own the Nautilus V1 and the Nautilus V2, Triton V2, Squid Trainer V3.5, and the V4, the Swordfish, Glider Antarctic, Bite Blades Titan, and the BB Firefly. All of these products have their own dedicated reviews, if you want to know Will and I's full thoughts. An honorable mention here is the Bite Blades Titan, which is super unique with the spacers at the bottom and the blade design. However, the balance and the very long profile throw off the flipping for me personally. We wanted to do a full review of the Titan, but Bite Blades? You good? Like, for real, you good, bro? Some more honorable mentions are the Squid Industries Swordfish and the Squid Trainer V4. We have a full review of the Swordfish coming, but for now, I'll just say that it is a fascinating design departure from the rest of Squid Industries products. It's very long and tall, and has adjustable balance with a little weight system at the bottom, and is the first readily available balisong with an aluminum blade. I do have some cosmetic durability and tuning concerns for it for sure, but the aluminum blade has proved to be very tough so far. And I enjoy the fast and light nature of it in the same way that I do the Nautilus. And then for the Squid Trainer V4, it flips, I would say almost the exact same as the V3.5, except now it has jimping, but the new bushing construction apparently made the sound of this change a ton, and I like it way more than before. Even with the ring. Stay tuned for a short review of this and a direct comparison with the Swordfish. And lastly, the BB Firefly, which I find a lot of fun to flip, and I'm excited to eventually try a Barracuda, but this doesn't make it in my top 3, mostly because on my main black and red one of the screws broke, and I haven't really been able to flip it since. So BB Barfly, we gotta, I need help. So my top 3 are the Nautilus V2, Glider Antarctic, and the Machine-Wise Prisma. Despite a vocal minority having strong negative opinions of the Nautilus, I really enjoy it, especially with my exclusive glider scales that they made up for me. Speaking of glider, huge update there. In our review of this, I detailed my experience of one drop onto concrete, making this completely unflippable, which a very, very small number of people also experienced. After that, Glider sent me a beater Antarctic, and Glider asked me to absolutely trash this thing. And I did. I've dropped this hard onto concrete probably, 100+ times. And it still flips like an absolute champ and hasn't developed any tap or play issues in any way. And that's true for both of my Antarctics, which have both been beat more than me punching this potato.
Brandon, for the last time, I'm not a potato.
Die, potato!
Not today.
I really enjoy how it flips, and the weight inserts that they made have made the flipping even more enjoyable for me. Then we have the Prisma, which I did a full review of. That's one of my favorite videos I've ever made in my entire life. And it's right there, but don't click right now. You better open it in a separate tab. Stay here, bitch. It's really good and is an amazing price, and even won Balisong of the Year at the Bally Awards, which I think is very much deserved despite the issues that I personally had flipping it. So my favorite Balisong trainer is the Nautilus V2, and kind of, in a way, the Nautilus V1, since they're so similar. This just has a special place in my heart, being the first real trainer that I bought and being able to customize both of these like I have. They've both taken constant beatings like a champ and have been my go-to for learning new tricks on, so it's an easy win for the Nautilus. Now we have my favorite plastic balisong. In this category, I owned the original Tay Flipper Calico, Squiddy, Squiddy PDP, Zipper V1, and the V2, Zippy Cycloid, and the Zippy Lucha. Just within the last year, plastic balisongs have gotten absolutely crazy. Zippy Balisong and Tay Flipper in particular have been making incredibly unique and diverse products. And there's even upcoming products like the Flip Forge Edit that is entirely customizable from the ground up that have me really excited for the future of all of this. But even right now, Zippy is making some of the most incredible and coolest balisong accessories I've ever seen. Some honorable mentions are the Zipper V1 and the Zippy Lucha, because boy, we will get to you. The Zipper V1 really surprised me, but the ball bearings and the handles just weren't doing it for me, which has been fixed with the Zipper V2, which we still have plans to do a review of. I definitely prefer the Zipper over the Cycloid, which is just too light for me to enjoy flipping that much. Then we have my original Squiddy from 2018 that's officially retired now because it has a bunch of cracks in the handles, which isn't dissimilar to when cracks form in me.
Oh.
So my top 3 in this category are the Squiddy PDP, Zipper V2, and the Tay Flipper Calico, and also the OG Tay Flipper. I'll explain that in a bit. The Squiddy PDP took the whole community by surprise since it was a collaboration with one of the biggest content creators in the world, PewDiePie. You know, I was one of the people that was speculating that this could potentially make the whole hobby explode. Then, it just came out for $100. Without a single social media post, any mention from Squid Industries or PewDiePie. 1,000 units were sold and then they were just gone. I would love to know the story behind that one. Anyway, it's essentially just a Squiddy Bee with red handles. So I bought it out of legal obligation.
Black and red, black and red, black and red.
Squiddies are great though, it's what I started on. They flip well, and them not looking at all like a knife makes me more willing to flip them in public. The red coating on this started to come off really quickly though after just a couple of meh drops, so I don't bring this with me that much. Something I do carry with me all the time is the OG Tay Flipper and the Calico. I'm lumping these together because while they are separate products for sure, and the Calico's balance is very different than the original Tay Flipper, they both fill the same role for me. And I just love to death the custom work that Tay did for my original Tay Flipper. The Calico is definitely a refinement in a lot of ways, but the balance does take getting used to. Then we have the Zipper V2. The customization you can do with Zippy's products is unmatched by any maker in the entire hobby, so I love the look of mine. It doesn't really have the premium feel that the Squiddy PDP and the Calico have, but it flips well and has a solid weight for a plastic product. So out of all those, I had to give it to the Tay Flipper and the Calico. The Calico is the only plastic balisong that I can genuinely say I love the sound of. Here's the Squiddy PDP, Tay Flipper, original Squiddy, and then you got, oh, it's so good. It's very well priced at $55, and I would pick this over most Squiddies any day. Now it's time for my favorite actual butterfly knife. So this time last year, I only had my Flytanium Lucha and my Crackerakin V1. And it's kind of terrifying how many live blades I have because I've had some unfortunate run-ins with them in the past. Thankfully, I'm much more responsible with them these days. So these range from as low as $50 and like over $5,000 if you factor in all the work that this little bitch took. The fact that I own any balisong that's over $300 is insane, but having two is literally just madness. From least expensive to most expensive, this list is the One Alien, Atropos Fortress Spy 2, Maxace Banshee V2, Machine-Wise Prisma Live Blade, Squid Industries Crackerakin V1 and V2.5, Fellowship Blades Medusa V2, Zippy Lucha, and the Machine-Wise Seraph. For the cheapest of the bunch, these all have their own dedicated section later in the video, so stay tuned for that. Some honorable mentions are the Zippy Lucha, which is so freaking cool that it also has its own dedicated section, and the Prisma Live Blade. All of my Machine-Wise products have been gifts, with Dalen giving me one of the only Prisma Live Blades to exist as a sorry after the final batch of Marin lights got messed up, and I actually enjoy flipping the Live Blade more than the trainer. And this is pretty much a one-of-one with the custom cutouts that Dalen had to do to the handles to accommodate the Live Blade, but it barely doesn't make it into my top 3. So my top 3 for this category are the Machine-Wise Seraph, Fellowship Blades Medusa V2, and the Crackaracken V1.
Wait, not the V2? But I thought you said this entire list was entirely subject. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. The V2.5 Bowie Crackaracken is awesome, and I've yet to meet a single person that doesn't love these. But the V1 is just so special to me, and it flips better than ever after Squid Industries gave it a tune-up at Blade Show 2022. It was a gift from Will for Christmas of 2019, was my first real Balisong, and began my real love for the whole black and red color scheme. And it's been on so many freaking adventures with me. So it just has a special place in my heart, and I enjoy the sound of it more than the Bowie. Just a little bit different, but Then there's the Medusa, which was a gift from Grant, Fellowship Blades himself, as just a, hey, thanks for doing what you guys do, you're cool. Grant, thank you for doing what you do, you're cool. We have plans to do a review of it very soon, so I'll save my in-depth thoughts for that, but holy shit, this thing goes hard, like really hard, and it has one of the coolest and largest Balisong blades I've ever seen. Honestly, probably one of the coolest blades I've ever seen on any product ever. Then we have the Seraph, which is another fucking gift. Can we just take a quick break? Because I just have to say, I am genuinely just one of the luckiest people in the world. The fact that I have such a massive collection that's mostly made up of gifts and free products, like I just can't, this little bastard right there, he's waving, bought me this. And it's just, I can't put it into words how crazy this is. So thank you to anybody that's been involved with this journey. Anyway, the Seraph is unbelievably cool. It has an incredible box, custom Cerakoted red blade, black Cerakoted handles. Will had Dalen put B number 69 on it, and the Imperial logo from Star Wars. It's one of the best sounding, if not the best sounding Balisong I've ever heard. It's this. I'm sorry, it's this. Before I was writing the script for this video, I really had no idea which one of these I was going to pick. But after writing all this out, and especially after saying it, it just has to be the Seraph. Seraph wins. You got it. I really hope that Dalen brings these back into production because it's by far my favorite product he's ever made. If my house burns down because I keep spontaneously combusting, wait, no, not again. This will either be one of the only things that I take or the thing I cry the most about for leaving later. Dalen, no pressure, but keep crushing it with your awesome products. They're genuinely amazing. But oh my gosh, I just wish we had plans to go to Arizona and do a full video series breaking down exactly how he makes his products like we did with Squid Industries. Wink sound effect.
Wink sound effect.
Wink sound effect.
Wink.
Next up, I had plans to do a most innovative category, but I decided to scrap it since a ton of the most innovative Balisongs that exist I don't actually own. Like this plastic one that you can bend however you want, and this crazy one from LDY with G10 in the handles and titanium, and it just looks so freaking cool, but I don't actually own that. So it's time for me to highlight my Zippy Lucha. It is plastic 3D printed handles with a live blade. If you don't know, that should not work as well as it does. Especially because the weight is like really solid and it has a really unique sound and a super original design. But Zippy took it a step further and fulfilled an entirely custom order for me and completely knocked it out of the park by making a Pride Zippy Lucha. The fact that he pulled this off is wild, and while I did have to sacrifice my Flightanium Lucha to make this happen, it is absolutely worth it. Zippy makes some of the most customizable and unique products out there, and while they certainly won't be for everyone, they are 3D printed plastic after all. I love what he is bringing to this community. Now for something I don't love, we have the most disappointing category. Now let me be clear, this is not the worst Balisong category at all. I wouldn't consider any of these to be bad. They just personally disappointed me the most. First, we have the one alien, which I do owe a bit of an apology. There was some information in the review that I did that was just incorrect and misguided. The experience of tuning the bushings was just really frustrating, and it developing tap quickly despite using Loctite annoyed me a lot. I gave it a 5 out of 10 tuning score and a 6 out of 10 flipping score, but I'm officially updating both of those to a 7 out of 10 based on what I know now and after flipping this for much longer. But still, the Zen pin screws falling out, the tuning issues, and the slippery nature of it still made this a disappointment for me. Then we have the Atropos Fortress Spy 2. Genuinely good copyright dodging there, Atropos. What's that? No, I don't eat at Burger King, I eat at Meat Monarch. I just came up with that just now. I was gonna say Meat Queen, but Meat Monarch came out. The Brandon Baker, come to the Meat Monarch, baby. We serve Brandon clone meat. It's gluten-free. This one has grown on me, but it has been an absolute bitch to tune in the same way that the Alien has. Now that it's mostly fixed, I can enjoy flipping it, but I just can't keep it from developing blade rub even whenever I use Loctite, which just keeps coming loose. Oh, fuck me. Go right into my fucking legs, son of a... Wow. I can see why people love this though. This can be a lot of fun to flip. It's a simple and cool design, and it is a steal at 120 bucks for a titanium balisong. And it's a genuinely good homage to Team Fortress 2. Then we have the Max Ace Banshee V2. Now the disappointment here is partially my fault. The place that I bought it from, Tactical Elements, said that it was titanium, which I believed because this is titanium and it's 120 bucks. So I thought for like 160 bucks, that could also be titanium. It is not that. It's stainless steel and therefore very heavy, which I also didn't know because almost every single place that lists it lists the weight differently. So if you want to buy this, don't be a silly Brandon. The due diligence doofus. That's an original, baby. It only costs $3 a month. Support us on Patreon. I've mostly gotten used to the weight, but the biggest letdown by far was the very rough G10 that I had to sand the crap out of to be even close to comfortable. Like, it was really bad. Max Ace makes good G10. I don't know what happened here, but this particular one was really bad. But despite those issues, this is still a very solid offering for 175 bucks. But I just don't prefer heavy balisongs like this. So after a lot of consideration, this one was really tough. I unfortunately had to give the least glamorous award to the Atropos Fortress Spy 2. Again, let me be clear, I don't think this is a bad flipper. It's fun, but being afraid to flip it due to the tuning issues and it damaging itself, okay, yep. That's why it gets most disappointing. I am literally bleeding. Being genuinely excited about it because of all the good things I had heard about it, and having big plans to anodize it, which I no longer have, this one bummed me out the most. Now I thought it would be fun to choose my favorite balisong from Will's collection, which I haven't actually written anything for this because I don't know. So in the script, I just wrote, Lord help me. So I'm gonna decide right now which one's my favorite. Will has a much larger collection than I do, and if you want to really know about that, check out the Balisong song in our My Balisong Collection 2022 video. And Will does have his own dedicated My Balisong Collection video coming very soon. See, Will has just grail after grail after grail after grail. This has grown on me, the Tsunami, since Will has an actual proper Tsunami now, not the absolute clusterfuck that his other one was. The Alien is also incredible, from Stitch Steel being entirely handmade, which I gained even more respect for after him and I made this. They're both aliens, but in their own way. I really also like the Sirius V2 from LDY. This one's a lot of fun. And I've also really liked for a long time his JK design Emissary number 8, because this has still one of the most unique designs I've ever seen. I know now. This is the one that has to get it, just because, again, this is a subjective list. This was just so fucking funny because I was there when Will was digging through Squid Industries' box of garbage balisongs that are just beaters, and he was like, hey, can I can I buy this? And you had the whole conversation with Lucas and he was like, what do you want to pay? I don't even know how much I want to sell it for. The look on his face was just so funny. I even got to see how they heat anodize these and got footage of that for the like main Squid Industries video that we made for them. And this isn't objectively the best flipper, but now after having flipped the other Tsunami more, it's still close enough. And this is just so insane and so wild. So I think it's this, honestly. There are a lot of other ones that I would pick that I would say I enjoy flipping more, but I mean, it's got the Hirsch.gay and the logo and like every individual piece of it is unique, and yeah, it's this. So my favorite Balisong in Will's massive collection is the janky Hirsch.gay custom Tsunami. So obviously my collection at this point has gotten absolutely insane. So I thought it would be fun for me to pick just one. If I had to get rid of all of them, if I had only one to keep with me for the rest of my life, and this was really hard. And it ultimately came down to the Seraph and the Crackerakin V1. And out of these two, I picked the one I picked for a very specific reason. And one of them I am just too afraid to damage. So if I had to pick one out of all the Balisongs I own, it's the Crackerakin V1. I have such a cool history with it. I'm not too afraid about beating it because it's already been dropped on concrete a bunch of times, and this just has everything that I want. Being able to tune it in the future will be pretty easy because it's just 2 screws, and I really love the look of it. It's simple and effective. I wouldn't be super jazzed about only having a live blade because I objectively wouldn't be able to flip in a lot of places, but I want something that would still have utility. So while I do love the Seraph a ton, I just would be afraid to flip it all the time because I just don't want to damage it because it's so special. So if I had to pick one, Crackerakin V1. And finally, in the My Balisong Collection 2019 video, Will sprung on me that I was going to talk about the Crackerakin V1.
And what do you think of yours, Brandon?
Am I supposed to?
What do you think of your knife, Brandon?
Hi, Mom. So I thought it would be fun right now for the very first time to tell Will, hey, Will, get your butt up here and I want you to pick your favorite Balisong from my collection.
Oh boy.
So here we go.
Oh, good golly gee. I'm shorter than Brandon is. I'm so much smaller than you are. Wow. Oh wow, there's a whole fucking mess for me to deal with up here. It's crazy too, because like last time your collection was just so much smaller. This is nuts. I really like the Prismas a lot. The Prisma is a very, very good knife, but I feel like it's a little more boxy than I have a preference for. You know, if I'm gonna be honest, I really do like your Nautilus.
Nautilee's nuts.
Yeah. The Nautilus that you have are just very nice. They have really, really good tolerances, and the custom scales from Glider are just kind of dope. This thing is just wacky. The fact, this has no right to be as good as it is. Like, none. I really like your grape Kraken. It reminds me of my orange Crackerakin in a way. Man, this is so difficult. The Medusa is really high up there as well. This flips really good. And I mean, like, I'm very proud of this thing. Like, this is just, that's a cool Seraph. But I feel like I can't pick the Seraph because, like, I love my Seraph. I think the thing that stands out to me about your collection is how sort of centered around your custom experience it is. And so, for me, in terms of the thing that I find the most compelling about your collection, I think the Nautilus V2 is gonna be the one, because just knowing how much work and time and like love you put into the V1, and then having that combined with the upgrades to the V2 as well as the nicer Glider Co. G10 scales. I like the originals, but these are very much an obvious upgrade over them, and it just feels great. I think this is very quintessential your collection. Like, it feels like if there is a Balisong that is Brandon's collection, this is pretty representative of it.
Yeah.
So my pick for my favorite from Brandon's Balisong collection is the custom Nautilus V2 that he has.
Morph cut.
Oh!
So, having this large of a collection is something I certainly never imagined happening. But I'm so grateful that our channel has reached the point that it has, and that I can even justify having this many awesome products. And honestly, it's kind of overwhelming, and I could even see myself downsizing to maybe only having 6 balisongs. And I would be more than happy with that. But since Will and I review so many products, it's kind of necessary that my collection has gotten as large as it has. And finally, it would be fun, because people ask this all the time, to talk about the total value of my collection. As of this moment, I actually haven't done the math here, but what I can say is that all of these were either gifts or were given to me for free. And the total value of all of those is... wow, a number. And then all of these are ones that I have personally bought with my own money. And the total value of all of those are, so the total value of my entire collection is on my face. You see it? It's very large, just like me. So I don't have anything else written for this video, but thank you so much for watching. This was a huge video, but after taking a break and really getting my creative juices back flowing for 2023, I'm excited to make it and excited to release it. But for everybody that's been on this journey with me, I'm so grateful that people have been so receptive of the larger role that I've taken on this channel. You guys are absolutely awesome. And a bunch more people that are extra awesome are our Patreon supporters. They're amazing. There's a whole big list of them on my body right now. They're always on my body. I just decided to show them to you right now. I have them all individually tattooed. Not on me, but on a Brandon clone. But that Brandon clone's just for me. So thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. And of course, we got the merch. We got the balisong cases. We got a cup with coffee in it. And I'm getting more and more experience with every range of those balisong cases, because I can now fill the biggest balisong case that we have, which is probably illegal. But that's pretty much it for the moment. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have one more award to give. And the worst Brandon Clone Award goes to... yep, William Hirsch.
Woo! Yay! Yeah! That's me!